What's going on, guys? Welcome to another play-in analysis video, and today I'm going to be looking at the Nashville Predators versus the Arizona Coyotes. Don't forget this video is subjective, it's just my opinion, and this might not happen, but I'd love to hear your predictions down in the comments below. Also, don't forget that with everything going on in the world, everything's pretty much up in the air right now. Some of these players might not even play in these play-in rounds, but this video is assuming that they all are. So without any further ado, let's get into it. We're going to look at the Predators' record first because they're higher in the standings. Through 69 games played, they had 35 wins, 26 losses, and 8 overtime/shootout losses. Good for 78 points and 5th in the division. This really has been a down year for the Predators. After winning the division last year, they did not envision themselves being 5th place in the division by this point in the season. The break in the season could not have come at a worse time for the Predators. They were playing some of their best hockey near the end of the season. In their last 10, they were 6-3-1, and they were on a 3-win streak. If the season wouldn't have been stopped and it went on as normal, I do think the Predators would have made the playoffs, but they would have been fighting for it the whole time. The 11th seeded Coyotes played 70 games, won 33 of them, lost 29, and had 8 overtime losses, good for 74 points. And just like the Preds, they were also 5th in their division and fighting for a playoff spot. Unlike the Preds, the Coyotes were not playing very well when the season was paused. 5-5 in their last 10, and they were on a 2-loss streak. If the season hadn't been stopped, I really don't think the Coyotes would have made it into the playoffs. Like I've said in all of my analysis videos, I don't think you should put much weight into the regular season meetings when it comes to predicting the playoffs, but I think it's something you should look at anyway. They only played 2 of their scheduled 3 meetings. The Coyotes won their first meeting 5-2 back in October, and then in December, 2 days before Christmas, the Predators won 3-2. The next part of the video, we're going to look at each team's offense, defense, goaltending, and special teams, and I'm going to tell you who I think has the edge in all of them. When you look at this stat sheet, Roman Josi immediately pops off the page, leading his team with 65 points as a defender. That's absolutely insane. He's going to be up for the Norris. I think he should win it. But when you look at the rest of the team, there's a lot of people underperforming. Players like Johansson, Kyle Turris, Victor Arvidsson, they should have a lot more points than they do right now. And this inability to consistently score is part of the reason why they find themselves in the play-in and not in the playoffs already. Luckily for the Preds, the Coyotes have been pretty bad at scoring themselves. Nick Schmaltz leads all scoring with 45 points, and Clayton Keller's right below him at 44. They've been relying a lot on the young guys. When you look at the top 4 scorers, they're all 23 years old, except for Clayton Keller, who's 21. Luckily for the Coyotes, they did acquire Taylor Hall, who has 27 points in 35 games. But even with Taylor Hall added to their roster, I don't think their scoring is as dynamic as the Predators. They have a lot more older guys that are getting points. Roman Josi just gives them so many options, being so elite at scoring. And on paper, their offense is much better. Now let's take a look at the defenses of both teams. Roman Josi, he's got my votes for the Norris. And Ryan Ellis is his partner. This has got to be one of the top 5 pairings in the entire league. And then your second line is Ekholm and Fabro. That's also another pretty good line. And then Tenorti and Holzer on the third line. But when playoffs roll around, or play-ins, Hamius is going to be back, and he'll probably kick Holzer out of the lineup. And the Coyotes have a pretty decent blue line themselves. They have veterans like Ekman Larson, Galagassi, Hjalmarsson. They're going to give the Predators some trouble as well. And Chikrin's going to be back, so I'm not sure whose spot in the lineup he'll take, but he'll be back by the time the play-in starts. And while I do think the Coyotes have a really good blue line, I just got to give the advantage to the Predators again. Roman Josi is going to win the Norris Trophy this year, in my opinion, and Ryan Ellis on his side, that's an absolutely insane top pairing, and you have to give it to the Predators. By the time you watch this video, you might know who's going to be starting in net for the Predators, but at the time of this recording, it hasn't came out yet. It's been reported that they're going to wait until the practicing starts in early July to see who's playing better to choose their starter. Let's take a look at how both these goalies did in the regular season. Pekka Rinne was not having a good season, the worst season of his life. 895 save percent, 317 goals against average, absolutely horrendous. Honestly, I think they should start UC Saros. His record was 17-12-4, and he had a 914 save percent, and his goals against was 270, much better than Pekka Rinne's numbers. Before Darcy Kemper got hurt, he was having a Vezina caliber season. 928 save percent, a 222 goals against average. His win-loss was 16-11-2. Absolutely insane play. But once he got hurt, they had to lean on Antti Raanta and for a bit Adin Hill. Antti Raanta's stats are a 921 save percent and a 263 goals against average. Both two really good solid goaltenders. And then Adin Hill in his 13 games, a 918, a 262. So really 3 solid goaltenders. This break in the season has given Darcy Kemper time to heal, and he will most likely be their starter against the Predators. If he can get back to the level that he was at before he got hurt, then he's going to be massive when it comes to the Arizona Coyotes' chances of beating the Predators. And he's a big reason why I give the goaltending advantage to the Arizona Coyotes. All three goalies that the Coyotes have used this season have better numbers than Saros and Rene. They've been a big reason why the Predators have struggled, and if they can't find any consistent goalie play, the Predators might be heading home early again this year. Now let's take a look at the special teams of both teams. And when it comes to the Predators, there's no nice way to put it. They've been absolutely awful. Ranked 24th in the power play, in 69 games, they've only scored 39 goals in 226 opportunities, only good for 17.3%. And on the penalty kill, they've been even worse. At 76.1%, they're at 28th in the entire league. Meanwhile, in Arizona, their special teams have been much better. While their 18th ranked power play isn't the best, their 5th ranked penalty kill is going to be massive in this series. 82%. They've only allowed 34 goals and 197 chances. And even though they're 18th ranked at 19.2% for the power play, that's still better than the Predators. I could do an analysis video on the Predators versus anyone, and you wouldn't see their logo in this part of the video. They have been absolutely awful. So I have to give the advantage to the Coyotes. When it comes to all my analysis videos, this was probably one of the harder decisions when it came to my prediction. Both teams were struggling to score, but they both have really good blue lines. Even though the series is going to be really low scoring, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So for my prediction, I'm going to call for the upset. I think the Coyotes are going to beat the Predators in 5 games. There's not a lot of people giving the Coyotes a chance, and the way I look at it, I compare this with the Columbus Blue Jackets last year. No one's really giving them a chance. The pressure's not really on them, but on the other hand, the Predators' window is closing fast. All the pressure is on them. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Predators win this series. They have some players that are playing a lot of playoff games, but my prediction is Coyotes in 5. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. It only takes 1 second for you, but it means so much to me. Every subscribe matters to me. I'm going to be bringing an analysis video for every single one of the play-in rounds and every single one of the playoff rounds once they start, all the way up to the Stanley Cup final. Right now, I'm almost done with the West, but by the time you're watching this, I probably have all of them done. Please let me know in the comments below how wrong you think I am, or if you agree. I want to hear your predictions for this series and why. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please leave a like. Have a good day.